Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday, and I hope you had a fantastic week this week and that the weekend started well as well. And I'm going to get you guys up on screen instantly to just make sure that I haven't forgotten to do something. I'm always setting these live streams up well beforehand and I always feel like I've forgotten something, but there is the live chat room up on screen. Let's see who's in the house tonight. And straight away we have Orlando in there. Oh, and we're going too fast. Okay, Samantha, Mike, Corey, Cats and Hats, and Paul and Patrick and Laurie moderating, and Angela. And we'll slow down a little bit. So Karen's in there as well. Alexi, Jennifer, and Paul. Hello, thank you for joining me tonight. And if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be amazing, because let's get things organised on screen early on tonight's live stream, because I always tend to leave it too long before showing the amount of likes that we've got and the likes goal. So we are at 109 likes so far. We are aiming for 275 tonight. So if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be much appreciated, and it means that we're looking for... oh, and it's jumping up. I'm going to wait for the likes to settle down. But thank you for hitting that thumbs up to get a spike of the likes early on. It's moving much too quickly for me to do my calculations. When I like to test my maths, it's bad enough as it is. But thank you everyone for joining me, and also for the donations that came in earlier on. And I will get to those, but before I do, just to get my patrons up on screen, the people that make this possible, and all the videos that I do on my channel possible as well. You know who you are. Their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout this whole live stream. And if you want to get involved yourselves, you can head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. That is the site. But let me get rid of that, and I can see that there's another donation just going through there from Fred, so thank you for that. But I will address these now. Just going to organise on the screen the previous donations that came in before we went live. For some reason, YouTube isn't showing me them, and even on the screen that I usually go to, it's not showing me the full messages, and I can't expand it. When I click on see all, nothing happens, which is another fantastic move by YouTube. Anyway, I saw that Orlando donated $2, so thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was hit that like button with lots of thumbs up, and because it was a short message, I can see it. But then Ginny donated $6 as well. Thank you for that, Ginny. And the message was Phil, do people who can't read music hire a company? And I think this was to do with hiring a company to write down the sheet music or in a book or something like that. And then I think Ginny also asked, why is it in different keys, or why is the same song in different keys, something like that. But anyway, just to explain quickly about books and music that is then written down, I think with bands, they don't write down their music. It's not something that they compose like you would do classically. They just meet in the rehearsal room and just work on ideas and riffs and melodies, and they're not writing it down after they've come up with it. They just come up with it and then remember it, and that's pretty much how most bands work. And when it comes to having to write down the music, it's not the band that do it, because they're too busy playing the music themselves. They'll get, or the record company will get a third-party company to do the writing down of the music, to do all of the notation, and the third-party company are now relying on people to write it down correctly. And this is something that I've experienced in my years of teaching, is that you can have a student that comes in with the official, say for example, the official Coldplay book, and you'll start playing through it, and then you'll realise that the people who made the book, who aren't Coldplay by the way, it's just people that are trying to listen to the music and then work it out. They've got it wrong. So there might be a chord that is blatantly a minor 7th chord, but they've just written it down as a standard minor chord. So that is something that you find even with the official books, they can be incorrect in terms of how they've written it out, because it's written down incorrectly because the band aren't doing it. The bands haven't got time to sit down and write out all of the musical notation for all of their songs. It's something that's done by another company. And as for it being in different keys, again, I mean, it's talking across the board. Obviously, lots of different songs are in different keys, so they're not all going to be in the same key. But if you're talking about one song that is in different keys in different books, then that's just a mistake by the people that are writing the book, that they've done it in the wrong key. And you should also always go back to the original, like the first release, the first record. And this is something that might change over the years. You might find that as singers' voices start to suffer a little bit with age, they might just take the key down a semitone or a tone, and in which case then the music might be wrong because the original key might have been a tone higher. So that's something to take into consideration. But in terms of asking why a song's in different keys, it's just the way that they're written, and sometimes for a vocalist the key is just taken down a little bit so that it's easier for them to sing. And generally, when you're writing a song, you might have a riff that you think is great, but then you want to sing a particular melody line over the top of it that's just a bit too high for your vocal range. So you just bring the key down a little bit so you can fit that melody in, and you don't have to stress about straining your voice and not being able to hit the notes. And that's something that just commonly happens across the board. And this is why we have vocal classifications and range classifications, is because everybody's voice sits in a different place. So if you're trying to sing something that doesn't sit within your vocal range, then without a lot of training, you're not going to be able to just naturally sing it. And it's something that a lot of people fall into, that trap of trying to sing songs that are outside of their range, either too high or too low, and then they think they can't sing, where in fact most people probably can learn to sing quite well if they're singing songs that are within their range, or whether they take songs that they like and then just put it in their range, because that's something that a lot of people don't do. They might have a song that they really like and it might be up in the male tenor range, and they think, oh, I can't sing it, I'm not very good at singing. But take it down. So say for example the high note is an A4 or a B4, then take that down, just maybe down to an E. You might want to take it down to an E4, so you're giving yourself a chance to hit those high notes of the song. And this is the other thing, is that people won't notice when you start playing the song. They don't notice that it's in a key for your range because they're not comparing it to the original. They're listening to it as a cover of that original song. And that's something that I think a lot of people miss out on, is that you have to rearrange songs for your own personal range. Otherwise, yeah, you might sound like you can't sing very well because you're trying to sing like somebody else, which I always advise against. Just sing it your own way, and that'll be better because it'll sound more unique as well. But anyway, thank you for that, Ginny. And getting into the super chat donations, actually let me get the PayPal donations window up on screen as well, just so you guys can see the percentages. 35 to 45% is what YouTube takes of the super chat donations, and on PayPal it is between 3 and 5%. But anyway, let me just put that up on screen. I know that there have been a couple of PayPal donations, so thank you for those. I will jump to those in a second. But Orlando donated again $2. Thank you for that, and says, hi everyone. So everyone say hi to Orlando. Let's have a plug of the mug before we get into the live stream properly, even though it's almost quarter past 12. Quarter past 1, that would have gone quickly, but I just wouldn't be surprised by anything in these live streams, considering how fast the time goes. Anyway, here's a plug of the mug. You can get your hands on the merchandise of the mug, anything you want, in the tray underneath this video. There's also a link in the description below. And you can see I'm fully merched out tonight. I've got the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. I've got the Wings of Pegasus hoodie on. So we're fully ready to go on the Saturday night live stream. So just getting into that super chat window again, because Fred has donated $5. Thank you for that, Fred. And the message is, glad you survived another Friday the 13th, Phil. So thank you for that, Fred. And I did indeed survive it. And to be totally honest, I didn't even realise it was Friday the 13th yesterday. So that's probably why I survived it, because I'm not particularly superstitious, so I got away with that. Apart from sometimes when I say something, I do say, like, touch wood, which is something that we do here in order to... It's like, I don't know why he would touch wood. I'm gonna have to look into that. But when you tempt fate and then you touch wood just to make sure that it doesn't happen. And fortunately, because this whole table and everything's made out of wood, and I've got my guitar right next to me, which of course is made out of wood, I'm never too far away in order to just dispel those myths or curses or whatever they are. But anyway, I'm not particularly superstitious about that kind of stuff, but that's just the one that I guess I've been brought up with by my parents. Also, walking under ladders, apparently that's unlucky. So I think I've walked under ladders before, just not really taken much notice. Well, I haven't noticed anything that's bad happening after doing that, but maybe I will avoid it in the future. I do not know. Anyway, thank you for that, Fred. And yes, I survived another Friday the 13th, as did we all, so that's good. Mike has donated $5. Thank you for that, Mike, and the messages. I covered 0 by the yeahs. And Molly Tuttle called it Hero. She has such a lovely voice, I had to transpose and simplify. So thank you for that, Mike. And Patrick, oh, and by the way, you can find Molly on the channel here somewhere, but the video that was requested was a video that was already looking at her technique, so I just kind of explained a few more things about her technique. So maybe that is another artist that I can feature in the future, maybe more of a performance video, but yeah, Molly is just one of those crazy flat pickers. But thank you for that, Mike. And Patrick's donated $5. Thank you for that, Patrick. The message is, Hola Phil, hope you are well. Would you consider Nights in White Satin one of the most beautiful songs of all time? So thank you for that. And I'm just going to try and expand this screen to see if that was the end of the message. And I believe it was. So thank you for that, Patrick. And I'm not sure what you're referring to in terms of would I consider covering it myself or doing a video on it. But yes, certainly Nights in White Satin. I mean, it's one of those songs, I think a lot of people maybe here in the UK would know that probably mostly. I know that certainly, actually earlier, I think it was Carla who was mentioning to me about Justin Hayward being one of the guitarists that apparently... and this is something, actually I'm going to check it because I've got the messages here. Maybe I'm just going crazy that this was Carla that told me this, but it was in one of the messages that I was reading earlier about Justin. Maybe it wasn't Carla, but I do not know. It might have been over on Patreon actually and not Facebook. I do get a bit confused with all the messages that come in on Facebook and Instagram and then the YouTube comments and Patreon and emails. So answering and reading the questions and all of those messages that I get. But anyway, yeah, about Justin Hayward being one of those guitarists who's apparently they put just lots of names in a hat, or they had lots of names that they were choosing from, and they picked out the first name and it was Justin's name. So he came along and auditioned, and that was it. They just hit gold on that first audition with Justin's name. But anyway, I can see that we've got the chat revenue instead of the likes. So let me move that over. That's my fault. I was adjusting the screen, as you guys could see. I was trying to see all of the messages. But anyway, thank you for those donations so early on. £32 already. So thank you guys so much for those in the super chat window. And yeah, so just to mention that. But yeah, Nights in White Satin, yeah, one of those songs that is very, very popular indeed. And here in the UK as well as over in the USA. But yeah. By the way, that all relates to, I'm sure this was a very recent video on the Moody Blues. I'm trying to think of when the Moody Blues was. I'm just saying it relates to it because of Justin and maybe people don't know. But yeah, I tend to kind of just say people's names, assuming people know that I'm talking about a particular band and that Justin Hayward was part of the Moody Blues. But I'm assuming that everyone's seen the recent analysis video that I did on the Moody Blues anyway. But really breaking down Justin's guitar technique, because he was such, I mean, I say was, still is, such a fantastic player. And when I say about, I mean, the reason I say was such a fantastic player is because back in the day, I think he maybe didn't get any recognition for the lead work that he was doing, whereas it was great to be able to look at them. I think in the year 2000, it was on the analysis video that I did, where we have some extended solos in there, and especially towards the end, Justin does an extended solo, so you really get to appreciate his technique. So it's great to break that down and just jump into some of that. So if you guys haven't seen that video, make sure that you check it out. It was probably earlier in the week. It might have been Wednesday. I do lose track of the analysis videos and how many I've done, but which days they are. But yeah, you'll be able to check out that video where we do have a little look at some of Justin's technique and a lot of lead work in there. But anyway, thank you, Patrick, for that donation. And Steve has donated $5 as well. Thank you for this, Steve. And it's the guy doing a mic drop in there. So thank you for that, Steve. Lulu's donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Lulu. And the message is, hi, Phil. Been a while. Just watched the Queen at Live Aid review. That performance never gets old. Enjoyed your commentary. Thanks, love, with some lips, I think that is. So thank you for that, Lulu. And yeah, that video was one of those that I did say I'd do quite a long time ago. It was requested quite a lot, so I thought it was a good opportunity to get that one done. And it is a lot longer than my normal videos, but just the nature of the beast when looking at a whole set, especially when it's 20 minutes, pretty much 20 minutes exactly, technically 20 minutes and about 10 seconds. So yeah, thank you for that, Lulu. And Amy has donated $4.99. So thank you for that, Amy. And the message is, we say knock on wood with a smiley face. So obviously there's a slight difference in approach for the well, I don't know what you call, I mean, it might be called old wives' tales, maybe it's something like that. But I think just being superstitious or a superstition probably covers it. But yeah, we say touch wood. So you guys over in the USA, I believe, say knock on wood. So thank you for that. Oh, and by the way, Amy donated on PayPal earlier on today. So thank you for that, Amy, just to let you know that that came through, the £5 donation over there. So thank you for that, and for donating tonight in the live stream as well. And Shirley has donated $5. Thank you for that, Shirley. The message is, hey Phil, have you ever done a reaction video to CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, just in case you guys don't know what that means, but I'm sure you do. And yes, I have. And John is here, maybe a few times as well. John Fogarty, if you don't know what I'm talking about, he's on the channel here somewhere. And I think I did a live analysis of one of his performances, because he did lots of really intimate performances of him just at home on his ranch, performing during lockdown, and I think I looked at one of those live. So there might be a live analysis still out there on John, but also I did a video on Creedence quite a long time ago now, so it will be on the channel somewhere. So if you type in British Guitarist analysis, and then probably you'll have to type in the Creedence Clearwater Revival rather than CCR, because I think that's probably what I put in the title, the full name of the band. And then if you want to find one on John, then just type in John Fogarty and you'll be able to find that as well. So thank you for that, Shirley. So I think we're now up to date with those donations in the Super Chat window, so thank you guys for those. And if you want to give this video a thumbs up, a live stream thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. It helps this live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow as a whole. And talking about the channel growing as a whole, we have recently passed 183,000 subscribers, so thank you to all of you for hitting that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell. And I believe that when you click on subscribe, you then get the option to click on the notification bell, and it's either the notification bell or a little arrow that you click on next to it to then choose to be notified for all the videos. So then you'll never miss an analysis video or an under the spotlight video, all of that cool stuff. Make sure that you get notified for every video by doing that when you subscribe. So thank you guys for doing that. Like I said, 183,000, just a crazy number. and we're just continuing to gather a little bit of momentum, and we'll get as many people as we can subscribing. But it's great. I mean, I'm quite happy just with I say just with 183,000, because it's just a crazy number of people. But if we do ever reach 200,000 on the Pick Roulette wheel, there will be a segment that is added that's going to be an actual real life guitar, that if somebody lands on that, then I will be sending a guitar to them as a little celebration for 200,000 subscribers. So that is something that I know that a lot of people say, oh, is that true? Is that going to happen? Yes, it is going to happen. I'm going to put a guitar on the Wings of Pegasus roulette wheel. And the Pick Roulette, technically a guitar roulette as well. It will now double as a pick and guitar roulette. But anyway, we will be having one of those later. Just a public service announcement to you guys in that live chat room, because if you want to get your name on the Pick Roulette, make sure that you type I agree and tag Carla Murray's name in the live chat room after we've done that session's Pick Roulette, or that live stream's Pick Roulette. Make sure you do it afterwards, because I think last week a lot of people were typing I agree before we finished the Pick Roulette, which means that Carla can't see it. And if it happens before the Pick Roulette, then it's not counted into the next week's Pick Roulette. So this is why you might see, I mean, the people that are on the Pick Roulette wheel tonight, I think there's only 58 entries, so you've got a lot bigger chance of winning because there's so fewer people on it. And I think it's because a lot of people were typing I agree before we finished the Pick Roulette last week. So make sure you type I agree at the end of the live stream after we've done the Pick Roulette and I'm back on screen and we can see the live chat room on screen as well. So that's the public service announcement for tonight. Anyway, I'm going to jump into the PayPal window because I did say that there's been a donation in there. So let me just jump into that now. And I'm just going to have to adjust this to make sure that it all lines up correctly. And let me get it on screen that Steve, there we go, so it's up on screen for you guys. Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is Richie Blackmore said, the right way to play Smoke on the Water is with Parallel Force. Some people say they are bad and to be avoided. Why? What are they? So this is, I mean, first of all, kind of getting into the way that it's played. I think we might have had this question before on the live stream, and I did explain about it. So for people that have tuned in for previous live streams, I'll try and cover it very quickly. But in terms of playing the actual riff, getting into, a lot of people play it on the low E string, playing open string, and then 3rd fret, 5th fret, and just playing it as a single note, whereas playing the notes in parallel, it means that it's not just a single note. So it means that effectively it's like a double stop on the guitar, playing double stops, which means playing 2 strings at a time, and you want to have your open D string and your open G string, and you want to hit those 2 together. And then you want to have the 3rd fret, hold those 2 together, and then the 5th fret as well, hold those 2 together. And yeah, you'll be able to hear the riff straight away that you're playing it correctly. And again, when you're talking about Parallel Force, for example, it's something that it's down to the sound that you want. And people saying, oh, they should be avoided, but it's all personal taste that you can really like the sound of it. And it's something that I think that with Smoke on the Water, having that riff, if you're trying to play a lead run, it starts to get a little bit more difficult. When you start playing over the key of a song and you're starting to put notes together that don't necessarily harmonize with each other over the top of a particular key, if you're playing lead, then it can be a little bit more difficult. But when you're playing a riff that is a standalone riff, and that's the main focal point, then you can start to get away with it a little bit more. And you'll find that with riffs, you can start to throw in notes that don't quite go. For example, you might have a 5th, and you might play with a flattened 5th, and that can sound really cool sometimes. It gives it such not an aggressive sound, but it makes something sound a little bit wrong. But you want sometimes to have that. So it's all about your personal preference, also your subjective definition musically of what you're hearing. Like, I really like that kind of sound sometimes in lead work. It's something that, in Dokken, I'm into kind of 80s music, so saying that George Lynch is the kind of guy who would throw that kind of thing in there all the time, and I think it's really cool to just occasionally do that, to throw in a note that makes you question it, but then get back into your original kind of minor pentatonic shapes, your blues scale, and that's very much what George Lynch did, but he would go off the wall a little bit, and I think it's quite cool to do that sometimes. So, in terms of saying that, things like that have to be avoided, I think it's sometimes cool to throw it in there. If you're just constantly doing it, then it's going to sound wrong. But you can start to throw in notes in amongst your other shapes and get away with it and just make it sound unique. So thank you, Steve, for that. But also, I just want to interrupt myself because I've seen Mario as I live and breathe in the live chat room. So hello, Mario. Everyone say a huge hello to Mario. That's what we do whenever I spot him. If I do, as I did then in the live chat room, we say a big hello to Mario in that live chat room. So say hello to Mario, and we might be able to see, just the top end of the, not quite doing a very good job of pointing here, but there it is, the signature gem, the Steve Vai gem that Mario sent me. So thank you for that, Mario. His guitar is there, and also his Maton is still hanging on the wall, so we won't be able to see that, but thank you again for that, Mario. Everyone say a big hello. But thank you, Steve, for that donation. Beth has donated £17.30. Thank you for that, Beth. And just going to scroll down, and the message is, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Phil, and all you wonderful folks. It's great to be here this evening, spike the likes. So thank you for that, Beth, and great idea to hit that thumbs up if you can. It'd be much appreciated. And I'm just going to scroll up because Marge has donated £1.38. Thank you for that. And the message is, thank you, Carla, for sending my autographed pic and photo of some guy in England so quickly. Thank you, Phil, for making this show fun and interesting, with a smiley face. So, no problem, Marge. Thank you for joining me, and thank you, everyone, for hitting that thumbs up, and for the moderators, big shout out to them. In that live chat room, their names go through in blue, and they've got a wrench next to their names. You'll be able to see Lorien there, and Neil, and also Carla, as mentioned by Marge in that last comment. So thank you also, Carla, for doing the whole pick roulette, sending things off as well, and getting all of the signed picks out there. So we will be having another pick roulette later on. So thank you for that donation, Marge. Just scrolling up as well, because Deborah has donated £5. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, the wings of Pegasus tees are attractive. I was wearing one at the market. A guy noticed it and started chatting me up. Buy the merch. So thank you for that, Deborah. So it seems like if you want to become more attractive to the opposite sex, then buy Wings of Pegasus merchandise, because that is Deborah's test that she has done with the Wings of Pegasus t-shirts. So thank you for that, Deborah. And if you want to get a custom Wings of Pegasus bleached t-shirt, then contact Carla, and that's at many moons ago in 1965 at yahoo.com. That's the email address that you need to contact to get in contact with Carla, who can then organise the t-shirt and get that sent off to you. But anyway, thank you for that, Deborah, and for that scientific experiment that has been conducted. Karen has donated £3.46. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, you just reminded me of the songbooks known as fake books. I think they were illegal to sell in earlier years, but I don't think so nowadays. Thanks for being au natural. It's much appreciated. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. And I'm not sure what au natural means. So thank you for that. I thought that's like when you have, I don't know, maybe like drinking water or something that's au natural. It means that it's come straight from the source or something like that. So maybe it's like being, I don't know, true to yourself or authentic, or maybe something along those lines. Because I don't know why I think of water when it's something that's called eau naturelle. Maybe something that's obviously French, but from like a French spring of water or something. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And as you can tell, I don't really know much about springs and water. So thank you for that. And yes, the fake books. I'm sure there are also on the internet lots of people that are trying to explain how to play a particular song, but even they don't know how to do it. For example, on ultimateguitar.com, like Ultimate Guitar tabs, where there are some on there that are just hilariously wrong. So yeah, sometimes when a student would come to me with the tab that they've printed off, and we'd be playing through a riff, and I'd have to say, unfortunately, the way that you've learnt it from this tab is totally wrong, and we're going to have to relearn it all over again, and they have to try and just erase all of that muscle memory that you've learned, because yeah, people unfortunately, this is the thing, that it's not really policed. There's no way of filtering out all the wrong versions, so yeah, you just really have to take it with a pinch of salt on the internet. But thank you for that, Karen. Deborah has donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Deborah, and the message is, congrats on the growth of the channel. If I win an actual guitar, I'll definitely learn how to play it, and it would be my 4th instrument behind organ, piano, and trumpet. So thank you for that, Deborah, and that would be great to add in another instrument, multi-instrumentalist that we have here in Deborah. But thank you for that donation. And Linda has donated £20 and 75 pence. So thank you for that very kind donation. And another one's come in from Beth. So thank you for this, Beth. And it's for £10 and 38 pence. Thank you for that. The message is, I'm looking to buy a beginner's acoustic guitar. Phil, I've found a few used ones locally. One is a PV, one a Fender with cases for $125, and an Amigo AM30 or 30 as it's written, with case for $65. There is also a free one, but I can't reach the person to find out what brand it is or brand is. Any advice? Thanks, Phil. So thank you for that. And this is something that, I mean, PV do make some good guitars. I mean, obviously Fender is probably out of those the one to go for. But having said that, I always say that if you can get your hands on the guitar, if you are learning to play the guitar, if you know a few chord shapes, if you can get your hands on the guitar, then everybody's physiology is different. So there might be a really cheap guitar that you really like the feel of, that suits your particular hand. It might have less wood behind the neck, which means that you can reach around the guitar more easily. Or if you've got bigger hands, then it might be better to have more wood behind the neck. So it's all down to yourself, and don't be afraid just to go somewhere and try the guitar, play a few chords, see what it feels like, and there might be the cheaper one that just suits you. And this is the thing, that there are loads of really, I know, because I used to work in a guitar shop teaching on behalf of the shop in the kind of music room they had there. But when I had a break, I would check out all of the guitars, and there were some Takamine guitars that were ridiculously expensive. We're talking about thousands of pounds, and I didn't like those, or at least a couple of models of those, as much as I liked my Tanglewood, which cost me like £240. So this is the thing, that it's all down to your physiology. I've got slightly smaller hands, so there are some makes that for some people with larger hands, they think, oh, I love this feel, and they'll maybe spend $2,500 on a guitar. But for me personally, I didn't like the feel of like a $2,500 guitar compared to one that I had, which was £240. So it's so much to do with your own physiology and just the feel of it, whether you like it or not, and its playability compared to your physiology and the size of your hand. So I'd say, that in terms of the names of guitars, I probably lean towards Fender, but I would try them all out because you might just find that actually the Fender is not the one that you prefer. You find that the chords are easier to play on one of the other guitars. So just try them out if you can do. Always get your fingers on that fretboard. But anyway, thank you for that, Beth, and the donation and that question. And if you want to leave a thumbs up, guys, as you come through the door, that'd be much appreciated. As you can see, we are aiming for 275 tonight, and we're at 218 already. I say already, it's almost 20 to 1 here in the morning. So let's have a little update as to the vote for tonight's video or cover video that we're going to be looking at. And it looks like all right now is at 62% of the vote. It's a bit of a landslide because Iris is the other video that is there. So keep on voting for that. We will be jumping into that soon. And I can see that there have been a few donations in the super chat window. So thank you guys so much for those. And I'm just going to jump into that because Scott has donated $10. Thank you for that, Scott. And the message is, you'll be interested to know that my documentary on George Harrison's Friar Park is finally complete. The world premiere will be soon. So thank you for that, Scott. And I think that this is something that, was mentioned quite a while ago. So Scott's documentary is finally complete. So excellent. Thank you for that, Scott. And maybe there's a way that there can be a link to that in the future. Maybe on, or maybe in either the super chat. I don't know if you can actually do links in the super chat, but maybe in the live chat room, that'll be possible to link to as well. But thank you for that, Scott. And Cats in Hats has donated €1.99. I'm not sure what I still haven't worked out what the euros, €1.99 whatever they are, but thank you for that, Cats in Hats. The message is, Phil, can you tell us why you chose the Pegasus? And I don't really know. There wasn't any particular reason that I could think of. I just like the name of Wings of Pegasus. It's something that myself and Griff, who was part of the band, Andrew Griffiths, who I've mentioned before. You'll see him in a few videos when I do play the videos when we're playing as a band. But we just sat down and were trying to come up with a band name, and I think Wings of Pegasus came about because I'm a big fan of Winger. I'm sure that was a seed in my mind, and then Wings. I don't know why I said of Pegasus, but there's got to be something subconsciously as to why that happened. But Wings of Pegasus is just a name that I liked, and Griff liked it as well. So that was it. We just said, right, well, that'll do then. Wings of Pegasus is what we're going to have. And I think, I don't know why, but Wings of Pegasus to me sounds like an 80s kind of band that could have existed. So I think it reflected the music, the hard rock kind of approach, and also the hair. So the mane, maybe. So yeah, maybe that's why I was thinking of a horse. But yeah, I just think that it's a name that reflected or at least mirrored what I expected the sound of the band to be like. So that's what I went for. But anyway, yeah, so nothing really deep about it. It just popped into my head. Well, thank you for that, Cats in Hats. And Elvis has donated $5 as well. Thank you for this, Elvis. And the message is, everyone hit like, exclamation mark. So thank you for that. Great idea. Hit that thumbs up. And we'll see where we end up. 275. We are 50 off, I believe, if my maths is correct. The 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It is. I was right. I was just questioning myself there. But 50 likes. We're looking for 50 more people to hit that thumbs up before the end of the live stream. We will jump into the cover very soon because I think I'll call this to a close in the poll. We'll see how many people voted. It's always interesting to see the input in the poll of the live streams. But thank you, Elvis, for that donation. Orlando's donated $2 as well. And thank you for that. The message is, how do you best describe alternate picking? So I think it's relatively easy to describe. You've got a pick like this. This is actually the Wings of Pegasus signed pick that you can only win on the pick roulette, but it'll serve the purpose of demonstrating picking. Imagine that I've got an invisible guitar, so I'm going to have to use my air guitar, which I always have to hand. So with the pick, you have a downstroke like this, and that can hit the string going dong, dong, You can also go dang, dang, and catch it on the way up. And that is alternate picking. Dun, 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 dun. Like that. And I could grab a guitar, but it's not plugged in, so you wouldn't hear it, so it would be a bit pointless. But that's all it is. Alternate picking is catching the string on the way down and on the way up, and just continuing to do that. Alternate picking. Alternating your picking. Down and up, down and up. So the other way of picking, you've just got downstrokes following each other, and that's just called downstrokes. So it's not alternating, and it's not alternate picking. You've also got economy picking, and this is something that's a little bit more complicated, but it's really good if you can do it, because it means that when you're going down, up, down, up, down, up, sometimes your pick wants to be going down to go to the string underneath the one that you're picking, but you're on an upstroke if you're alternate picking. So it means that you're going away from the string you want to go to. So if you go down, up, down, down, you can do 2 downs in a row in order to be more economical with your picking. And it's called economy picking, where you'll get 2 downs in a row and then maybe get back into your alternate picking, and then 2 downs in a row to get to your next string. So it's something that's, this is when you're playing quite fast, so that you're throwing runs together that aren't spur of the moment. They are pre-worked out, because you've already sat down in your room playing for hours and hours and hours this particular run, and you've already worked out which direction your pick needs to go in order to play it fast. So this is why a lot of really fast runs are subconscious, because you've already worked out beforehand the direction that the pick has got to go in. So it is so subconscious. Those movements are already happening without you thinking about it, because you've sat down and practiced just hour after hour, day after day, month after month, year after year. So that is economy picking. But alternate picking is just alternating. Economy picking is where you have to break up that alternate picking cycle in order to make it a little bit more efficient for throwing runs together between strings that just make it a little bit more easy to do. But anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And Beth has donated $10. Thank you for that, Beth. And the message is, thanks, Phil. I've got big hands with fat sausage fingers. So thank you for that. And I've got small hands with, I wouldn't say, fat fingers. They're probably quite thin. So probably better for playing chords, but probably not as good for barring and all that kind of stuff. This is the other thing, that regardless of your physiology, there's parts of or techniques that you'll be using, parts of playing the guitar, where you find it easier to play play against somebody or comparing with somebody who's got smaller hands. Just vice versa. It's one of those things that if you have got smaller hands, then you won't be able to make the stretches as well or as effectively. But like, I start to tap with that right hand. That's how I combat getting over stretches. But yes, if you've got bigger hands, then you can reach notes higher up and put those runs together a little bit more easily. But then you might be leaning on other strings, so you need to work a little bit more at getting those chords really nice and clean. But anyway, thank you for that, Beth. And Desi is in the house and has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, I'm on the air. Shout out for you. And Pegasus is a Greek, or a Gurk, but a Greek god that came from the blood of Medusa. He gets his wings from Athena with a heart. So thank you for that, Desi. And as I mentioned before, there wasn't any of that I was thinking of when I came up with the name I just liked. It was just purely liking the name without any real relevance to the Greek gods or Greek mythology. So thank you for that, Desi. And Jen has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Jen. And the message is, popping in, you missed my other question. How do you like your pancakes? With an inquisitive face. So thank you for that, Jen. And I don't know where I missed that other part of the question. I'm just going to scroll up to see if I can find it here. And maybe it was in the other window. So I will have a look over in the PayPal window as well. But let me just have a little scroll up because, okay, I know that a few more donations have come in over on PayPal, so I will get through those. Maybe it's one that I haven't got to yet, but I will double check maybe when the cover video is playing. So Jen, thank you for this. And how do I like my pancakes? Ideally in my mouth. But in terms of pancakes, I have, okay, sometimes jam and whipped cream. So that's a bit exotic, but I do like that quite a lot because I can spread the jam across the whole pancake and then put loads of whipped cream in it, and then I can roll it up so that now the whipped cream is inside the pancake with the jam. So that's a personal favourite. If I'm not having that, it's lemon juice with sugar. So you've got the bitterness but then equaled out with the sugar. So I put that, again, roll it up. And what else do I have? Probably golden syrup is the only other thing that I would have, and that's just golden syrup by itself. So I just put that over it and then roll it up. But I think probably my preference would be the strawberry jam and the cream. I really do like that. And maybe the squirty cream that you get. I don't know the official word for that, but you get it in a canister and you just squirt it. Yeah, just have that. Just fill up the whole pancake with that. So yeah, that is my preference. And starting to feel hungry now, just thinking of pancakes. But like I said last time in the live stream, it's amazing that over in the USA, that counts as something to have for breakfast, which just blows my mind because that's only ever been a dessert here in England that you have in the evening if you're really lucky. I mean, the last time I had pancakes, we do have a pancake day here, but even the last pancake day, I didn't have pancakes. So it's probably been 2 or 3 years since I've actually eaten a pancake, and now I really want one. But thank you for that, Jen and Suzanne, who has donated £3.45 in the PayPal window. So thank you for that, Suzanne. And the message is, hi Phil, have you ever done a calendar? So thank you for that. And no, I haven't done a calendar yet. I don't know if that's something that is going to be available over on Teespring in the future. Maybe it's already available. I could maybe email Stephanie over at the Teespring store to see if that's something that they do or they can do, because it might be possible. It would just mean that I have to try and find 12 pictures to put on the calendar. That would probably be a bit of a mission, but maybe I can find 12 decent pictures somewhere. But thank you for that, Suzanne. I guess it can be an option in the future. I'll have to look into that. But also thank you to Tortordo Porco Richard, who has donated £3. Thank you for that. And the message is, not to be superstitious, but please don't go bare feet in your studio. I was reading about a French singer who was electrocuted while performing on stage barefoot. So thank you for that, Richard. And it's too late. I've already been barefoot in here multiple times when it's very hot. So I was okay, but I think I'm pretty careful with everything here. I think probably most likely in that situation, it might have been damp and therefore moisture on the floor. There might have been something that had a bad connection, and therefore standing on stage barefoot, the electricity probably conducted through the water to his feet. So yeah, but here I've got a carpet as well, so it's not really got any moisture in it. So I think everything's fine here for going bare feet. I think just everything's very carefully checked and everything is just working as it should do in terms of the electric equipment. So yeah, thank you for your concern though, Richard. It is much appreciated. And I'm just going to pop into that super chat window as well, because Amy has donated $9.99. Thank you for that again. And the message is, thank you, with the guy, and he's doing some praying. So thank you for that, Amy. And thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. I can see we're at 250, which means we need 25 more people to join us in that live chat room. We will see how we get on. Let's jump into tonight's cover video, which has been voted for you guys after being requested over on Patreon. Thank you guys for doing that. And thank you guys for voting. And I can't even remember, or I didn't actually pay attention as to how many people voted. Can I even get it? I'm going to have to scroll up to try and find it. I think maybe I've left too long in order to see the result. There's been lots and lots of comments, but I think it was 68% of the vote when I left it as to, and it's now disappeared, so I can't see it. That is a shame. But thank you. I don't know how many people voted. Maybe somebody noticed that as it went through, but thank you everyone for voting for this tonight, the All Right Now cover, my version of it. I hope you guys enjoy this. After this, we'll get into the pictures and then into the pick roulette. And then you guys, if we do hit the target for tonight in the likes, can start typing I agree, but not until after the pick roulette. So I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
took her home to my place, watching every move on her face. And she said, look, what's your game, baby? Are you trying to put me in shape? I said, slow, don't go so fast. Don't you think that love can last? And she said, love, Lord above. Now you're trying to trick me in love. Ow! Alright now, baby, it's alright now. Alright now, baby, it's alright now.
And there we have it. I just thought I'd cut that out before the end because we are very close to the likes goal. We're looking for 11 more people. I hope you guys enjoyed that, by the way. The All Right Now cover, my own version of it. Thank you for voting to hear that one tonight. So, 11 more people we're looking for in that live chat room. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be much appreciated if you could do, in order to make sure that we have a pick roulette next week. So what we're going to be doing is jumping into the pictures now. I think we have just a couple of pictures that we're going to look at. Then we'll get into tonight's pick roulette. And then once we've done that, then hopefully, I mean, we might look at a cartoon. Where are we? We're almost at 1 a.m. here in the UK. So still got a little bit of time, maybe 15 minutes or technically like 17 or 18 minutes in order to get through everything before we finish. But hopefully we can get up to 275. We are getting very close. We're now looking for 6 more people. So let me just scroll down in order to find where we get the pictures. So I'm going to disappear for a second. And first of all, we have another picture from Suzanne. So thank you for uploading this one with the Wings of Pegasus I was about to say earphones, with the not quite earphones, but we've got the ear rings. So thank you for that, Suzanne, and also the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt, of course, and Wings of Pegasus necklace. So thank you for uploading that one. And we have Paula as well, who you can see has Wings of Pegasus t-shirt on, but also in the top left-hand part of the screen, the picture of some guy with a guitar and the Wings of Pegasus signed pick. So Paula was a lucky winner of the pick roulette. So congratulations to her. And next to Mark Knopfler, I do believe. So Yes, that's. I'm very flattered to be next to Mark up on that wall, just above the calendar as well. So thank you for that, Paula, for uploading that picture. And if you guys want to get involved yourselves over on the Wings of Pegasus Facebook, well, it's not the official Facebook page, the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page, you can do. That's the page that you can join. The standard page, you can't really join that. It's just something that I have there, but I don't have time really to keep that all up to date. But I do check the messages on there because they still do come through, even though I'm not very active on that Facebook page. But if you guys want to join the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, then you can do. Just search for that in the search bar, and then you can upload your pictures of any merchandise, that kind of thing, and then I'll show them on the live streams because that's how it works. So we are at 279 likes. So don't type I agree yet. We're going to do the pick roulette for tonight, and then we might have a look at a cartoon, and that will give you guys time to type I agree. So don't do it yet, everybody. So wait. I'm going to now disappear. We'll get into tonight's pick roulette, and then I'll see you guys after this. Rock. So here we have it, and you can see the slightly less populated pick roulette tonight, so you guys have got a bit more of a chance. It's a bit of a lucky week for these people on the wheel, because that's it, a lot of people typed their name before the pick roulette last time. So this means, right, I'm gonna now put the kiss of death on someone by picking out their name, and it's gonna be Mel. Mel Bell is my top tip for tonight. So there we go. I'm going to shuffle it 5 times as we always do. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also see the t-shirts going through. By the way, if we do land on a t-shirt, it means that we have a t-shirt roulette after this one to see who wins a t-shirt. And that's the bleach t-shirt that Carla does. And it's signed by me. So we will jump into this. Let's give this wheel a spin and see who's gonna win. And I guess I've got more of a chance this week for Mel to win my top tip. We will see. It's slowing down. You can see the names a little bit more clearly, going around and round. And Kevin going through there, where I can't see Mel's name anywhere. No, so unfortunately my tip for the top is incorrect, as always. So we've got She-Holler or Renee coming through. And is it going to stop on Renee? I believe it is. So congratulations to Renee, aka Nora101, for winning the pick roulette tonight. And I can just see in the comment section Mel has gone through saying thanks, Phil. So that might be a little bit of a sarcastic thank you, because Mel unfortunately hasn't won. But congratulations to Nora101. Renee, if you can let yourself be known in that live chat room, that would be much appreciated, so that everything can be organised with Carla. So that is the winner for tonight. Congratulations and commiserations to everybody else who has not won tonight. But you can always tune in on Tuesdays as well, because we have a live stream then if you want to try and double your chances of winning. But if you want to join in next week, then you can do as well, because we're going to be having another pick roulette, because we're at 288 likes, so we've reached our target for tonight. Thank you guys for that. And I can see a lot of congratulations going through to Renee in that live chat room, Nora101. So now you can start to type I agree in the live chat room to get your name on the pick roulette wheel for next week, to then have a chance to win the signed pick yourselves, have another chance to win. Everybody's got a chance to win the signed t-shirt as well. So make sure that you type I agree, and let me do a little example for you guys so that you know how to do it. We tag Carla, so we go at Carla Murray, her name shows up, and then we type I agree, exclamation mark. So that is now going to go through, so you guys will be able to see that in the live chat room. And we've still got a little bit of time, so what I'm going to do is we'll have a little look at a cartoon, because I know that was requested over on Patreon. Let me have a little look over on Patreon. Actually, we've got some donations to get through as well. So thank you, Stan, for this $5 donation that said that guitar solo was on point. Nice work. So thank you for that, Stan. And that must have been the cover, so thank you for those kind words. And let me just jump into the PayPal donations window as well, which I can get up on screen for you guys to see. And let me just scroll up, because it's Beth who has donated £17.30. Thank you for that, Beth. The message is, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Phil, and all you wonderful folks. It's great to be here this evening. Spike the likes. So thank you, Beth. Great idea. We've already hit the likes goal for tonight, but why not? We'll just hit that thumbs up even more. Thank you for that, Beth. And Marge has donated £1.38. Oh, hang on. We're going through I think these are the old ones, because I was checking through them while the video was playing to try and find Jen's one that was missed. Or at least Jen said that I missed the last part of the donation. So let me go through. I'm going through all of these to see if I can see Jen's in there. I know that we have mentioned it previously, but I can't see Jen's one there. Let me just scroll down again. But yeah, so there, I didn't see one in that PayPal window. So, but anyway, thank you, Jen, for that donation. The previous one that we did have a little look at and address. So thank you, Nora, as well, who has donated £20 and says, hi, Phil. After watching your Hendrix / Star Spangled Banner analysis, I was wondering, what is the difference between feedback and sustain? So thank you for that, Nora. And I mean, technically you could describe feedback as endless sustain, because the note is sustained. That's basically just what it means. But what you can get is a sustain pedal increases the length of the note, how long the note is sustained for. And generally a sustain pedal will cause your note to last for longer, but it's not like feedback. It's not endless, but you can get something. I mean, this is going to be really confusing now, because you can get something on your guitar called a sustainer, which means that it's a unit, you might have seen it, it's like a block that you can hold on the strings, and it causes an electromagnetic frequency to basically strike the strings all the time. So it's almost like causing the string to I'm not sure, like to resonate, to put a signal through the string, so that string is always ringing out. The best way to describe it is like a violinist constantly, like with a violin, you can use the bow to constantly make the note ring out so that it's got endless sustain, because the note is continually vibrating. So that is what a sustainer does on the guitar. You can hold it on the string, and because it's putting a current through that string, the string's constantly vibrating, so it's like it's a constant pick, so it sustains, and that will sound like feedback because it never stops. But a sustainer pedal, generally, I've had one before that just extends the sustain of the note, but not endlessly. And I'm talking many years ago. So nowadays, it might be the case that you can get sustainer pedals that literally do keep that note going on forever. But I think the most reliable way of doing it is to get a sustainer and to hold that on your guitar string, because then it's just putting a current through the string rather than taking a signal from your guitar and then manufacturing the sustain after the fact. So I'd say the difference, it's probably really confusing, but the difference between feedback and sustain, feedback is something that is coming from your amp, and it's not something that is a post-processed signal or something that you're using to process a signal after it's happened. A feedback loop is something that happens with your amp and your guitar, or with your amp and your microphone, when the volume is very loud, and effectively the amp is picking up the sound of the microphone and it's picking up the sound of itself again, and it's creating a feedback loop in exactly the same way that when you're in front of your guitar, the pickups of the guitar is picking up the sound coming out of the amp, so then it's replicating the sound and it becomes a feedback loop which just goes on endlessly. So the simplest way to describe it is that feedback is something that happens with your equipment, with your amp. Sustain is something that happens after the fact, as like a pedal, in the same way that you might have delay or phaser, reverb, those kind of things, chorus, those are all pedals. And sustain is something that you can add to your guitar with a pedal if you want to. The sustainer is something that's going to cause the note to continue on endlessly, but it's not feedback. You're doing that on your guitar rather than your amp doing it just because the volume is very loud and it hearing the signal again and creating a feedback loop. So that's the difference between the two. Hopefully that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but I've done my best to try and describe it. But thank you, Nora, for that. And Totoro Porco has donated £2. Thank you for that. Again, the message is, with 183,000 subscribers, you could hold Philfest in Maidenhead. Does the local football pitch hold that many people between all you songs and covers? That would be a nice long concert. So it definitely would. I think I've got between 30 and 40 covers, and yeah, if I did my original material as well, there's about 11 songs in there. Maybe a little bit more if I played other songs that aren't on the album. But thank you for that, Richard. And Maidenhead has a population of, I think, about 80,000 people. Yeah, it's not actually that many. So it means that I could have over double the population of Maidenhead coming to a gig. And I think the football team probably has a capacity of, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people, 2,000 people. So yeah, it wouldn't. We couldn't hold it in Maidenhead. It's just not enough space. Because I mean, even Wembley Stadium wouldn't have enough space for all of the subscribers to come down. So yeah, I'm not sure where we could hold a gig with 183,000 people. We'd have to do it over a series of nights, maybe. But thank you for that, Richard. And Mario has donated a very kind £150. Thank you for that, Mario. And I'm sure everybody's already said a big hello to Mario in that live chat room. And the message is, hi Phil, a big congratulations on 183,000 subscribers, mate. So well deserved, with a smiley face and some rock horns. So thank you for that, Mario. And Mario is just part of the Saturday night live streams. And thank you, Mario, again for sending me those two very nice guitars. Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for this, Sue. And it's a straight up donation. And I am just going to get through these a bit quickly. Patricia has donated £2 as well. Thank you for this, Patricia. The message is, hi, Phil. Are you getting out and about at all? Or are you still chained to your computer every waking moment? You need to escape to stay sane. So thank you for that. And I'm not really much of an outdoorsy kind of person, apart from playing golf, maybe. But other than that, I don't really go to, the shops. I order everything online. With lockdown and everything that has happened previously and COVID, I mean, I didn't really go out much previously. I'm not one of these social people that goes out. I mean, I don't drink, so I don't go out and drink alcohol. I just stay in. But I think when you've got a channel with a large amount of people there's always something to be done. I know that because I like to, I mean, it's all through choice that I stay indoors and I am in front of the computer all the time, but I know that I want to keep doing Under the Spotlight as a series, so it means that I'm constantly sending out emails and doing things on that front, as well as keeping everything going with the analysis videos and the live streams and everything with you guys. So yeah, it's very much through choice that I'm doing it. I don't feel forced to do everything that I'm doing. I just like to keep active, and this is the best way for me to keep active is just keeping up with everything that's coming through on a day-to-day basis. But thank you, Patricia, for that. I'm sure that is something. Actually, I was speaking with Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult yesterday, and yeah, one of the things that we were talking about is, I mean, he's now touring again with Blue Oyster Cult over in the USA, but sadly their gig in October that was due to go ahead at the O2 here, I've mentioned about that previously, that's now delayed for a year, so that's going to be happening in 2022. So that is, yeah, a bit of a shame, but they are playing with Deep Purple, so that'll be happening next year, so I'll have to catch up with Buck at that point. But it's just with COVID and everything, I think indoor venues here still haven't kicked off yet, so we will have to wait till next year for Buck to get over here. But I think with those kind of things, with gigs and events, especially if I know the musicians that are performing, then I do go down and watch the show, maybe just catch up with them. So that is something that I like going out to. But in terms of going out and socializing and drinking and all that kind of stuff, I just really don't do that. I'd much rather go out and listen to music and, yeah, just meet up with some of the band mates and people that I know. So, and also I can maybe go with a portable camera, maybe film it for you guys and then upload it to the channel at some point, or put it over on Patreon. So thank you, Patricia, for that. Renee has donated £13.83. Thank you for that, Renee, and the message is, I'm so excited. Thank you. This made my weekend awesome. So thank you for that, Renee, and congratulations on winning that pick. And Giri has donated £25 as well. Thank you for that. Very kind donation. And the message is, hello from Texas. Always enjoy your cast. So thank you for that. And I'm just going to jump into the super chat window because the messages that have come through there. Jen has donated $5. Thank you for that, Jen. The message is, sorry, don't scroll up. You answered my question in the title, in the comment section of a vid. Breed of dog with a smiley face. Okay, thank you for that, Jen. Richard has donated $5. Thank you for this, Richard. The message is, because we need someone with an open mind about music who educates himself and then passes that knowledge on to the rest of us. So thank you for that, Richard. And Jen has donated $5 again. Thank you for this, Jen. The message is, have you always lived in Maidenhead? And it's been written almost like a metal band, Maidenhead, but it's all one word. And there's an inquisitive face there. And yes, I've always lived in Maidenhead. I believe I was born in Taplow, I think, which is really close to Maidenhead. It's just literally 5 minutes. And yeah, then we moved. Well, we were in Maidenhead, so my parents only went to the hospital for me to arrive, and then I went back to Maidenhead. So yeah, but I lived in a different house when I was up until the age of 4, I believe, or 5, and then I moved to the house, or my family moved to where I live now in Maidenhead. So we still lived in Maidenhead, but maybe 3 minutes away, and then we moved to this house. So I've always lived in Maidenhead. Yes, that is true. So thank you for that, Jen. And Jimmy has donated $19.99. Thank you for that. And it looks like a Nintendo gaming controller saying woot. So thank you for that. And or it might be, it's kind of a combination of an Xbox controller, a Nintendo controller, I don't know, maybe. Oh no, it's more of an Xbox controller rather than a PlayStation controller. I'm more of a PlayStation person myself. So I think actually, technically, it is like a PlayStation controller because you've got the D-pad at the top left of the screen. This is also something that I do like to do occasionally, is play a game or two when I get the opportunity. Not that I get a lot of opportunity to play lots of games. I find that I buy a game and then I've got so many games that I've bought and played them for about maybe an hour, and then I just haven't played them again because I haven't had the time. So there's about 200 games that I probably need to complete. But at some point I will do that, hopefully. Maybe when I retire, I'm going to have just endless games that I can play through and try and complete from 2010 and 11 and 12 and 13. And yeah, just have to work my way through them. But thank you for that, Jimmy. I think we're pretty much going to be calling things to a close now. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. By the way, maybe very last call for the I agrees, having met the target for the thumbs up tonight. This is the last call for the I agree. I can see that Carl is just going through, but we are going to be ending. I know that it's 17 minutes past 1 here in the UK. And previously we have gone on a little bit longer, maybe to 1:30, but that then makes it a lot more difficult for me to get everything finished before the day is out, and then I do an analysis video on Sunday, so that's why I then have to get stuck into that tomorrow. But I will be doing that tomorrow night, so we'll probably be calling things to a close now. But very last call for the I agrees in that live chat room. But Desi just going through there and very late, and I can see that Lucy just said no fill tune, and this is the thing, it's going to be too late to do a fill tune now. I was going to play one, but then all of those donations came in and I wanted to address those. I think pretty much whenever I go over 1:15 in the morning, I do struggle to get through all of the emails that have come through while doing the live stream, because it's then an hour and a half's worth of comments and messages and emails. And yeah, if I just end a little bit earlier, even just an extra 10 minutes gives me a little bit of breathing space to try and get everything finished before I get to bed. And I'm trying to keep my going to bed. It just has this habit of getting later and later and later, but I want to try and keep it at about 5:30, which is what I've managed to maintain over the last few days. So that's what I'm going to try and do tonight as well. But I know that there has been another donation, I do believe, in the PayPal window. So thank you, Kevin, for this £1 donation. And the message is, Phil, 100 euro cents equals €1. What's in your mug? Orange squash for me. So thank you for that, Kevin. And thank you for letting me know that it's cents, like the USA. So thank you for that. And tonight is just water, just straight H2O. And Orlando has donated £1.40 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, I am watching the New York Yankees at the Chicago White Sox. I am lurking, however, rock with some rock horns. So thank you for that, Orlando. And that'll be, I think, the last donation of the night, because we are going to be calling it to a close. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I can see Orlando's going through again, saying it has been great. Thank you. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think that Phil, thank you everyone, rock with some rock horns. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight, for hitting that thumbs up, and also for typing I agree, and just ensuring that we do have a pick roulette next week. Look forward to that one, and you can join me on Tuesday night, same time, same place, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, if you want to join me then as well, to double your chances in order to win in the pick roulette, to win the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. But thank you everyone for joining me tonight, and stay as safe as possible. Huge shout out to the moderators as always for doing such a great job throughout these live streams, but also stay as safe as possible wherever you are. Get your vaccines if they are being offered where you are. Wear your masks if that is being requested of you or suggested to you. And I'll catch you guys at tomorrow night's analysis video. I'll be in the comment section as always, but I'll see you live on Tuesday night as well. So thank you everyone for joining me. Final look into that live chat room. We've got Neil in there, Chris, Nora, Carla going through, Pamela, Tortoro, Porco, Richard, Kevin, and Garden in that was something. And then we're all going through. I saw Billy go through there as well. Lisa, Cats and Hats, Michelle, Lewis as well, Beverly, Teresa, and Deborah. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!